Emmanuel Macron's once commanding presidency now teeters on the edge. A new Le Figaro poll by the Verian group delivers a political earthquake. Macron's approval rating has collapsed to just 11%, the lowest for any French leader in half a century. Macron now shares the title of France's least popular president with his predecessor, François Hollande, whose ratings plunged before leaving office. New surveys by Ipsos and Odoxa show no recovery, with Macron's approval barely touching 20%. A former presidential advisor told Politico Macron is hooked on polls, but blind to the anger his own reforms have unleashed. That anger is now spilling onto the streets. In Parliament, opposition leader Marine Le Pen intensified the pressure, branding Macron's financial policies as disastrous and accusing his administration of driving France toward record debt and dependence on foreign lenders. Le Pen warned that Macron's fiscal strategy surrenders economic control to Brussels and global institutions, pledging that her movement would restore sovereignty and stabilize the economy.
First of all, let me remind you that our budgetary work is taking place in a seriously deteriorated context. The picture, or rather the score of the Mozart of finance, is particularly dissonant. Debt is reaching record levels. The interest on this debt will soon be the largest item in the state budget. And since half of this debt is held by non-residents, tens of billions of euros are leaving our country, damaging our balance of payments. Business failures are also reaching record levels. The public deficit remains out of control. In short, after 8 years of Macronism, the budget crisis is a very sad reality.
At Paris's Esplanade des Invalides, protesters in billionaire masks danced to anti-austerity chants, condemning the government's 2026 budget draft and its $43 billion in cuts that critics say burden public services while shielding the wealthy.
The austerity chosen by the government is purely a political choice. Not only is it a political choice, but it is also a political error, because economically it will lead us straight into the wall. So, once again, it is trying to make 43 billion euro, 50.3 billion US dollars, in savings on the backs of the population, on the backs of people in public services, etc., but it is doing nothing. It completely spares the ultra-rich, the multinationals who pay less tax than the people.
Public anger is mounting as demonstrators accuse the government of ignoring rising inequality. Civil society groups warn that the austerity plan could deepen France's economic divide and erode trust in institutions.
Narrowly escaped censorship, so he must surely be happy. But he knows very well behind it, and this is what this day of gathering expresses, that behind it there is a crazy social anger.
Across Europe, political fatigue is spreading, but France stands at its breaking point. From the streets of Paris to the halls of power, Macron's image of authority has fractured, leaving his presidency hanging by a thread.